Afternoon and good evening, depending on whatever time you're joining us. Welcome to Kenny Political Table, where we discuss matters politics, matters governance, of course, as well as the state of Kenya. Who did what, where, when, why, how. And as usual, when we talk about matters politics, matters governance, what is happening in a nation, we never fail to ask the question, how much was used, how much was spent, how much has been borrowed, how much has been repaid, how much is the taxpayer going to pay, more or less? And that is exactly what we do here. And of course, I'm joined by Emmanuel Bosire, who helps us analyze as well as understand what's happening out here. Now, what is really happening out here today? Now, MCS have tabled an impeachment motion against the Nyamira governor, that is Amos Nyaribo, of course, listing several grounds for his removal from office. Of course, this narrowed down to abuse of office as well as gross misconduct. And when they were filing, or when they were presenting, that is the motion against his impeachment, of course, they listed several things which we are going to talk about. But just before that, let's listen in to this video and then we'll be right back.
My name is Nyaribo, MCA Magombo Ward, leader of minority, Nyamira County Assembly. I want to have a very brief press statement. Now today, we have tabled the motion to impeach the governor, county of Nyamira, Mr. Amos Nyaribo. As the Constitution demands, we've done our bit as MCAs. We've tabled the motion before the county assembly, and now the document that details all the grounds for the impeachment is a public document now. Any one of you can obtain a copy from the county assembly. Any member of the public who wants to see what the grounds we've put in that document and have access and have a look at it, you interrogate it also. So we've done our mandate according to Article 181 of the Kenyan Constitution 2010, which sets out the grounds for removal of a governor from office, which includes violation of the Constitution, abuse of office, or misconduct. So we've put all the grounds there for the whole world to see. We've laid our evidence, the documentary evidence. We have witnesses who will help us build our case. So we are not doing this because of personal reasons with the governor, or we are not pushed from any quarter to do this. This is out of our own conscience as leaders, elected leaders, who represent thousands of voters who sent us here to do the oversight work. Because the Constitution, the law does not allow all the members, all the electorate to come here. They've sent us here as their representatives, and we are doing this. Why are we doing this? We want Nyamira County to be the best county in this country. If there is anything that is going wrong, we must make noise. We must point it out. And we must tell the way it is. So we are not at personal war with anyone. We are just putting forward the reasons why we feel that Nyamira should be run better than it is being run now. It's only in Nyamira where there are no functional street lights at all. It's only in Nyamira where an ECD teacher is paid 25 million as a month as a special salary. It's only in Nyamira where we have a lot of things going on. So we want to push our case. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for the support you've given us, for the moral support you've given us, and we are confident that God is ahead of us. And we are doing this to make Nyamira better than we found it. Thank you. In our petition, and as I've said, it's now a public document. anyone has a right. The Constitution gives you the right to access it and have a look at it. So if you want, you can obtain a copy from the clerk, County Assembly.
Yes, so that is what is currently happening in Nyamira County. And of course, some of the grounds in which they want to impeach the governor is that number one, of course, they've said abuse of office as well as gross misconduct, which include alleged illegal recruitment of staff, which is that the governor oversaw the appointment of a director of human resource management and human resource officer. That is through a vetting process that did not comply with the legal requirements. We also have ignoring court orders. And here the MCAs claim that Nyaribo actually disobeyed court orders for appointing a county executive committee member for environment, water, as well as natural resources. And we also saw his non-compliance with the Minimum Development Expenditure Act. And here the MCAs allege that the governor actually oversaw the implementation of an illegal budget that deprived the residents of Nyamira essential public goods and services that amount up to approximately 444.5 million. And we also have on abuse of office, the Nyaribo has been accused of illegal dismissal of the CEO of Nyamira County Public Service Board and illegally reassigning the role of accounting officer of the County Public Service Board. Now, the list is endless. We also have releasing empty containers disguised as medical drugs and deliberately delaying the completion of Nyamira County headquarters, as well as the MCAs are also claiming that the governor oversaw an unjust and fair taxation system through failure to collect the outstanding land tax, arrears, as well as failure to update the county's valuation role, and nepotism and favorism as well, because allegedly he also gave a job to a junior accountant as the head of accounting services, who happens to be his niece. And that is just but a few of some of the grounds in which the current Nyamira governor wants to be impeached, as presented by the MCS there. Now, I'm bringing Emmanuel in to actually help us understand how, number one, a person can be impeached, or a governor can be impeached, on what grounds, and what is the process like, before we get into the reasons as to why the Nyamira governor is actually being impeached, or there is moved to like.
So, for governor to be impeached, under the 2010 Constitution, in Article 181, one is for the gross misconduct of office, a violation of the Constitution, both the national and international law, which doing with corruption, things doing with nepotism, as it was indicated. So the mover of the debate, or the motion to impeach Governor Nyaribo, had brought out the three points with evidence that there's no service delivered in Nyamira. We remember that in Nyamira, an ECD teacher is being paid 25 million a month in Nyamira.
Wait, what?
25 million a month. Payslip for an ECD teacher. 25 million shillings a month. So you can see how a lot of money is being invested.
Oh, yes.
You know, 25 million.
That's a
Even
lot.
our presidents does not have that money. Even the Speaker of the National Assembly. But someone is walking home with 25 million shillings.
Every single month.
Every month.
Wow.
No service delivered in Nyamira. When you go to Nyamira, Nyamira does not even have county offices. Nyamira does not even have an headquarter as a town. Nyamira, there's no development. I can say that it could be the system that Nyaribo found out to be bad. You recall the former governor Nyamira, Jagaram, also had a scandal.
No.
Building a gate of 14 million. Uh, so that indicates that there is misuse of public funds, and that one is enough to kick you out of office, and you can be impeached. So here now, of the 34 MCS, so when you require two-thirds, that gives you around 24 MCS, 23 MCS actually. And the ones who voted for the knockout at 24. So meaning they have the quorum to kick out the governor. So next, it's going to move to the Senate, whereby the Senate decides a committee of 11 members who are going to investigate on the claims of the MCS on why they should impeach the governor. So upon finding and giving the governor a fair hearing, and upon finding that it's evident that he violated the rules in Article 181 of the 2010 Colonial Constitution, then they are now to have a vote in Senate, whereby the majority vote will knock you out. And here you now get a letter from the Senate telling you to pack your things and go home. Of course, with punishment from court, with fine and whatsoever. So that's what happens.
Okay, and the issue of nepotism. Of course, we know that is a very big issue, especially in government offices. Kwa sababu utapata mkuu yuko, the daughter is in a certain position, the nephew is in a certain position, the family members, the in-laws are in certain positions. Is it an issue in the system? That is something I've not figured out quite in detail. Is it an issue in the system to have your relative or someone you know close to you in a position of power or just in a work position? Because we've seen, like, when you apply for jobs at NGOs, they do not allow you to refer someone. Lazima uende huko ndani ujitetee mwenyewe. So is it that for example, like here we see he gave an opportunity to his niece, you know?
No, it could not be true. You know, what we want to say is that nepotism is one of the key factors. But again, you can be qualified. So upon investigation and finding out, you know, the employment policy and program, you don't get someone and the employment without the skills required. You can be a niece to a governor, you can be a son to a president, but so long as you have the required details and skills and the necessary requirements for you to get that job, does not mean that now you should not occupy that office. So at times it could seem to sound as nepotism, but again at times it can sound that it's someone who has gone to school, has the necessary required papers, experience to serve in that office. So those are things that now investigations are going to be done, how the employment for that particular individual was being done. Yeah, so you can find out now. Now, if your fathers are not only being governors, we've seen teachers, a father is a teacher and a son is teaching the same school. No. So those are things which have happened. So it does not mean that now that's nepotism. But we as Africans and Kenyan nature, if I am working in the same office with my relative, they will always point out they are employed the same people. But again, if you go and do the research and you find out that this was the most qualified. So at times we need to agree that in as much there is nepotism, it's again possible to find someone who is from the same family with the most required skills in that particular office.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, we're really looking forward to seeing what is going to be happening in Nyamira County, if Amos Nyaribo is going to be impeached, if the motion is going to go forward, and if the citizens or the residents of Nyamira County are finally going to see relief as well as improvement as well as growth. Because it seems like, according to the allegations put forward, it seems like whoever was elected or whoever they elected is actually not working for the people, but for himself. But most definitely, we're going to be keeping you updated with what is happening in Nyamira County. Now, when we move to the bipartisan talks, of course, we know they're happening. at the Bomas of Kenya, and different entities, different people, different parties as well have presented their ideas, have presented their issues to the National Dialogue Team, all towards, or all geared towards the final verdict, which is going to be given in November this year. Now, of course, today we had the Jubilee members, that is the Jubilee Party members, present its issues to the National Dialogue Team, or better yet, state their issues, which also go hand in hand with what the aim of the bipartisan talks, talking about the risk for political parties, as well as the cost of living, the issues of gender, as well as the peaceful demonstrations that happened, which were not so peaceful. Then of course, I don't know if you've ever seen any peaceful demonstrations in Kenya, but let's just take a look at what is happening, or what is happening at the Bomas of Kenya today. That is from the Jubilee Party, and then we'll be right back. Is that better?
Yes. We can start.
So good morning. We are the leaders of the Jubilee Party, and we decided to come this morning to present our memoranda because we support the talks that are happening. But as you are aware, that our party is not represented. We are not complaining because we support the process. But Jubilee Party being the third largest party in Kenya, and having also the third largest party in the National Assembly at the Senate, we wish to present our issues because we also want to say that we are not part of either the Kenya Kwanza or the Azimio coalition. We have already written to the Speaker in that aspect to indicate that after the election we have not had any formal agreement with any coalition. And the outfit, how it was done, was meant that every other party presents its own coalition. And so our unique position is that we are an independent political party. We don't have a coalition, and so we want to present a Jubilee Party. So today we have just come to drop our documents. Hopefully that we are going to be given an opportunity and a slot to come and give our views on the issues. So we have several issues that we have come and we have our agenda. And part of it is first to say the issue of political parties. That the issue of political parties, when political parties go in an election, it should be respected the decision that political parties take after the election. Because you cannot continue staying in a coalition or in kind of a marriage that you are feeling you are being mistreated. And that's what happened to the Jubilee Party. You know what happened after the election. We lost our positions from the commission, the issue of the political party allocation of slots, even at the National Assembly. And so you know our matter. And we would like that issue of the political parties to be respected, and especially after the election, such that people can sit down and agree a way forward. Second issue that we as the Jubilee Party are going to present today as part of our memoranda is that we support the issue of gender in the National Assembly and also both the Senate and the counties. And we are saying we should not just focus on the National Assembly alone, the Senate, but also even in the allocation from the executive. And we are happy on what happened with this government. We are hoping that each and every area that the issue of gender will be looked at, but political parties should come up with a proper mechanism and with IBC such that we will not be struggling like what we have done. We know there have been there was the High Court already ruled about the issue, but we have been struggling. We have a bill that is in Parliament supporting the issue of addition of women in Parliament, and we support. And so we have detailed information on this document on how we can be able to achieve that. On the issue of the cost of living, it's also something that we are very concerned about, and we know there are several interventions, though majority maybe have not been very successful. But what our first proposal is that we need to look at all the social protection programs that we have. And because we have a lot of repetition in some of them, we propose that we should be able to consolidate all the social programs to one, such that if you're talking about health, if somebody is an indigent and they need a health insurance card, they need to be supported by the government, so that we don't have somebody getting maybe 2 or 3 benefits from different social protection programs. And we propose that if you are able to have consolidated and one program that can focus on the families of the indigents and the people who are not able, from health and be supported in all aspects, in food and everything else, then we can be able to move on. But again, as I say, they are well detailed plan on how we can be able to do the social protection. We are very concerned on what happens after the elections. And for us, yes, we support the issue of demonstration, but peaceful demonstration. And we are saying, if somebody calls for peaceful demonstration, we are proposing that if any destruction of property happens, then those people should be held liable. And so that if you're calling your people to come out for peaceful demonstration, you should also address them and tell them we should not destroy any property. We have seen destruction of properties, we have seen people closing businesses, people are actually going back because of these demonstrations. And so we are saying, as we support the demonstrations, the people calling for peaceful demonstration, if any destruction happens, they should be held liable. And I think that is one of the things that we are proposing. The issue of the office of the leader of the opposition is part of the issue that we are also talking about. And you know, Jubilee initially, we had talked about the issue of winner takes it all should not happen. And our proposal is now broader. If you're going to have the office of the leader of opposition, we are proposing that that person will be the leader of opposition in the National Assembly, the person will be number 2 in the election, and the deputy to be the leader of opposition at the Senate, so that then any party will not feel like they have been left aside. So if we are creating the office of leader of opposition in the parliament, so the number 2 becomes the leader of opposition at the National Assembly, and the deputy becomes the leader of opposition at the Senate. I think some of those are some of the issues that we have highlighted, but my colleagues can add on more issues that we have as a party.
Thank you so much. I think our party leader has generally summarized what is contained in this particular document. And what we want to say is we support the national dialogue process. We are fully supporting that.
Yeah, so now that was a Jubilee team presenting their grievances as well as their suggestions to the national dialogue team. And of course, as I said earlier on, some of the things they've talked about is respect for political parties, stating that political parties should be respected upon the decision that they make after election period is over, stating that some of them were exited out of Jubilee party. We also have the issue of the cost of living, which is what everyone is talking about. Everyone, including the possible talk that is happening right now, the bipartisan talks, the agenda on the table. Also, we have the cost of living because it's high, and of course, we're finding a way to, or they're looking at a way to reduce it. Also, gender issues is something maybe that we've been discussing in this show from time to time as well, because according to the constitution, of course, we have the 2/3 gender rule, which is something that they're really trying to bring about representation in leadership as well as in different positions. And we also have the issue of peaceful demonstrations, with Sabina stating that, of course, there should be a system or a way in which the government or people who want to conduct demonstrations issue a statement saying that they are conducting demonstrations and they're peaceful, and in case something happens, like what we saw during the demonstrations that happened earlier on, businesses being looted, a lot of property being mishandled as well as destroyed, then he who called for the demonstrations has to pay for the damage that has been put in place. Now, what are your thoughts on some of the agendas or some of the things that Jubilee is also highlighting or has suggested?
These are thoughts which are bringing us close and close to a referendum. We soon went to have a referendum because they started with Azimio and Kenya Kwanza. Jubilee is joining the political parties and to join definitely. And now they're going to add up on what Kenyans are undergoing, high cost of living, and then we went to have a referendum for the supremacy of the Constitution 2010, with the introduction of the office of the Prime Minister, Prime Cabinet Minister,
Cabinet Secretary,
and official opposition leader. So among other things that the government will want to do. So basically, it's a way that we're going back. Ruto is very bright. Mheshimiwa William Ruto, very bright. Si rahisi anze kitu mshindi. He'll use all means. Now again, it's a way of weakening Jubilee again. So Jubilee initially was part of Azimio.
No.
But did not participate much in demonstrations, you remember? They left Azimio to fight for itself. No. Now that Azimio, especially ODM, Melipigani, and things are going to be better from their side. Now they've come in. So what we expect from this dialogue is it's for a call up for a referendum, if we want to have a change for the constitution or amending it. At times it's not a must we have a referendum, we can use parliament. And if we go the parliament way, then the majority will vote for it. And what needs to be done as early as possible. Like what the president wants to do is to sort out the prime cabinet secretary seat, which as at now, someone goes to office to impeach the president for misconduct of office. Yeah, so there are things that you want to sort as fast as possible for him to be on the right path, and of which to favor the opposition and to himself again. Also, remember we have an issue with IEBC. So another thing I must be discussed is how to strengthen the IEBC for the coming by and general elections. Yeah, that's what you can get from her statements.
And most definitely, on Ask Siasa today, we were asking the question, and I'm going to pose the same question to you. Of course, we posed it to our viewers, and as well, I'm posing it to you right now. So the bipartisan talks are happening right now. Agendas are on the table. We've seen the IBCs on the table. We've seen the cost of living is on the table. We've seen the opposition being given offices on the table. We've seen the office of the Prime Cabinet Secretary also being considered on the table. We've seen the story of finances being put on the table. We've seen, what else? Did I say the cost of living? Yes, being put on the table. And we've seen the meetings happening or the proceedings happening at the Bomas of Kenya. I'm sure you've listened in on some of the things that are being discussed at Bomas of Kenya. And the views of the people out here, the people who are saying this is such a waste of time, a waste of resources, and a waste of Kenyans' time, and that the bipartisan talks or whatever they're trying to do should just be null and void. According to you, do you feel like it is a waste of time or something good, something beneficial is actually going to come out of the talks?
Nothing is wasting time. Nothing, again, wasting time can be making something good. So from anything, we can draw conclusions that something good and bad. But at the end of the day, there's a lesson to learn. The outcome here will be two outcomes. The government will have played its game well and played the opposition to bring down the temperature of demonstrations in our country. And number two, the opposition and the government will get a win-win deal. So there's nothing like wasting time. So it's a win for the Kenya Kwanza, a win for opposition, and a win again. I cannot say a win for Kenyans. Because those are leaders looking for ways on how to settle things affecting them. Because at the end of the day, things affecting us as Kenyans are never going to be sorted out by bombers. Of course, it should be by parliament. Now here, a win for Kenya Kwanza is for the amendment of the constitution to allow it to bring in the office of the Prime Cabinet Secretary and other offices that they want to create, together with creating the opposition office. That will be a win for the government. A win for opposition for their grievances to be heard. First, about the cost of living. It's a tool that they have used to get this debate. So it will be a win for them that were it not for their push, the interests of Kenyans were not to be heard. A win for opposition again, if the opposition office is being created. So this is going to improve on opposition roles in a country, compared to when you do opposition without any funding from the government. And number 3, it's going to be a win for the opposition when the bipartisan talks bring and sort out the issue of IEBC. So meaning they will be right. For sure, there's a big problem in IEBC. There are articles they violated in 2022 elections. In as much the government.
Okay. And still posing the same question to our viewers out there. Do you feel like the bipartisan talks are a waste of time, or something good, something beneficial is going to come out of it? The comment section is very much open. Feel free to share with us your sentiments. Now, as we wind up, what is happening in Haiti? What is happening in Haiti? Now, of course, ukiangalia kunje, the talk has been a lot of people are making like a lot of humor when it comes to 1,000 police officers being taken to Haiti and currently learning French, And what actually happened is that now, since the assassination of the Haiti president, that is Jovenel Moise, on the 7th of July, that is 2021, Haiti has been experiencing a lot of unrest. We're talking about kidnapping, we're talking about rape, we're talking about violence, we are talking about mishandling as well as mistreatment of children, that is the young as well as old people. And we've seen thousands of people, number one, like fleeing from the country. We've also seen more than 200,000 people being displaced, as well as thousands dying, because according to reports, even by the beginning of 2023, around 850 people had died. You can imagine what's happening up to now. Now, of course, last year we saw the Prime Minister of Haiti, that is Ariel Henry, seeking for deployment of armed forces to assist in containing gang members who now are believed to be the reason or the cause for unrest that is in Haiti. And also the UN Secretary General had made an appeal requesting nations to lead in the peace and security mission in Haiti. And Kenya offered some of its members to actually go and help. So Kenya offered help, which was highly appreciated as well as welcomed by the United Nations. So, of course, a team was sent there to conduct an assessment, and they briefed the president on what happened there. And now Kenya is to send, that is in 2024, 1,000 of its police officers who, according to the ministry or the cabinet secretary for Foreign Affairs, that is Alfred Mutua, are now learning French so that they can be able to communicate well once they get to Haiti. And of course, the CS also stated that the logistics of these 1,000 officers who are going to be sent to Haiti, also on the way. Of course, physical preparedness, money-wise, as well as psychological preparedness, because now they're going into a place of unrest, And I don't know, of course, we are happy as a country that we are able to help other nations. But I keep on asking myself the question, with the kind of system that we have, are these people qualified enough to handle whatever is happening in other countries? Ama kwa sababu tunaona they handled maandamano hapa nchini, they're actually fit to offer the same kind of help to those outside or those in Haiti, according to whatever is going on there.
So the Kenyan police fully handled maandamano.
I think sasa si ndio hiyo how they handled maandamano. They did handle it in the way.
What did they handle?
Of course, they
with
could.
The mass destruction of property. And you want to say that they handled maandamano. Now, in brief, feels that these are waste of time and resources. The only thing it could be, as a Kenyan, they never wanted to go. But as a country that we want to get 15 billion shillings from the United States, and the states, the superpower, so just comply. So, the Kenya Constitution says that it applies with international constitution. So, and you find that USA, the superpower, are sending you to a place. So they'll be behind you, they support you. What normally happens is that not the police officers are not well equipped. At times, you can find the resources are not enough. At times, you can find that they have issues in the military, they're not well trained. But now they want to get the support from the United States. They can do well. They can handle the situation.